Hey y'all, this is Marley K. Hope y'all are well. Got a story from the Daily Hodl about the role of blockchain in the evolution of CBDCs, which are central bank digital currencies for trading. Scrap the trading piece. I just want to focus on the role of blockchain in the evolution of CBDCs, period, which has been my concern the whole entire time that cryptocurrencies have been out. Like, I don't know, I've turned into one of those like old skeptical black women from my great granddaddy's time during the Great Depression. I just can't. I just cannot trust this stuff that's coming out because we've been duped too many times, especially the African American so-called black community here in America. Like we always get in the doo-doo bag. And so I have never trusted it. And I remember watching this video one time of this rich guy, and I can't remember his name, but he talked about if we knew who created Bitcoin, I'm sorry, yeah, Bitcoin, or yeah, Bitcoin, he said Bitcoin, and he said cryptocurrencies, you would, uh, how did he say it? He said the value of it would go to zero and you dump it. He said, I don't own it, I don't want any. And like he's a billionaire. So, um, but I was assuming that by him saying that he's also not a part of this system that they're trying to usher in. So we can't always assume that because people are rich, they are pro this new global order. Have to be wise with my words since we're being censored heavily these days. But I've always thought that. And just because if you look at the two men that created the blockchain white paper, and you look at the institution that they work for, and then you look at the evolution of their careers and things, and then you know the history of the government and where the white supremacy pipelines are, you understand what happened. It's like they don't do anything new. White supremacy just reinvents itself with the same old stuff and just be like, voila, here's this new thing, we have it, and it's the best thing since sliced bread. Meanwhile, tearing up communities, tearing up the world, robbing Peter to pay Paul, playing this zero sum game, got everybody gassed up on dreams when you're really living in a nightmare and you don't know it because you are um, drunk on public education, Kool Aid, and just intoxicated with the American culture, which is very egotistical, narcissistic in a lot of ways, and lacking self awareness. Say that. So anyway, let's get into this story because I think it is very important for us to talk about the evolution of blockchain, how it, evolved from cryptocurrency to CBDC. And I honestly believe that people who participated in any shape, way, or form with the cryptocurrency helped to usher in the pilot project, or helped to usher in CBDC because cryptocurrency was basically a pilot project. And I'm gonna just believe that till the wrinkles shake out of the shirt. I just cannot see it any other way because of how things have evolved. And I listen to people tell me, "Oh, you need to learn how to do these certain things. You need to learn Mandarin. You need to learn about cryptocurrency, invest in cryptocurrency because cryptocurrency is going to be safe." Cryptocurrency ain't going to be safe because the government going to outlaw it because what they really wanted to do was get us to CBDC, which they got the critical mass they needed by the excitement of um, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies that people were um, exchanging. And so now you're starting to see those cryptocurrency exchanges and uh, uh, creators being torn down, like they're being shut out. And the only thing, and even I think I brought your story the other day where they had the Singapore fintech um, composium or whatever you want to call it, symposium somewhere, I guess in Singapore. And they even talked about how cryptocurrency is gonna not it's not good now. It's not good because it's done its job, and so it's going to be null. I don't think you're going to be able to use cryptocurrency. I think cryptocurrency or cryptocurrencies are what the UBI projects are today. How they are rolling out these UBI projects all over the globe and giving these people a year to try this, try that. Well, a year is easy to see how people will spend their money. You can do that if you just give people a card and say, if you're gonna spend the money, you got to do use this. You can't withdraw cash. Whatever the stipulations are. But with cryptocurrency, that is the model for the CBDC, in my opinion. And so if you gonna have a global financial system, you gotta let it play out. And I think that we've all been played, because what happened with CBDCs is what not CBDCs, I'm sorry, with cryptocurrencies is what the government wanted, not governments or system builders wanted to happen, so that when the time comes, when they get ready to collapse all the economies and put us on this new system, they will have all the information that they need. I think they have that. So if you benefited from it, cool. Is I equate it to the equivalent of voting for 50 years. We've been voting for nothing, getting nothing, and um, been made to hate each other. It's always two opposing sides. It's always something that you got to compete with or fight with in order to be in this system. And so to me, it's just another level of the system of white supremacy reinventing itself for this last final evolution before they tear up the whole globe. So let's get into this story. So it says CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, have become a hot topic among cryptocurrency enthusiasts as the main weapon of governments against privacy and freedom, which is why everybody is screaming from the rooftops about CBDCs. By controlling all the finances of their population, governments can use CBDCs to control and manipulate the population to an extent that was not possible until now. Despite these issues, there still may be room for well-developed and wisely implemented CBDCs, which you could just take that sentence and put it in the garbage. Nobody's creating anything to take away your free will and to monitor everything you do. And they're going to do it well, develop something well and wisely. It was done with crafty counsel to create it and get people to buy into it and think it's a good idea. So, all right. So it says, let's dive a bit deeper into this intriguing topic and discuss ongoing and future trends. The emergence of CBDCs. So it says CBDCs result from the advancements in blockchain technology and the financial landscape. Central banks across the globe are exploring the idea of introducing the alternative of fiat currencies for digital transactions. Unlike traditional forms of money, CBDCs represent the country's official currency issued by central banks. This evolution is propelled by the need for more efficient financial transactions, modernization, and the desire to adapt the evolving nature of currency in the digital age. Well, we didn't ask for none of this, so I don't know why we got to evolve. The majority of us don't want it. We would like our privacy. I prefer the old way. I didn't ask for this, but they told me I had to do it, so we have to do it. But who says it's better, and why do we feel like it's an evolution? I feel like we are going backwards to slavery times myself, but that's just me. Despite these arguments from central banks worldwide, many people see CBDCs as the dystopian future, as central banks and governments will have full control over individuals' money. That's what you all need to understand. You will not have your money, which is why I'm telling you to do what you can do to be as independent and self-sufficient as possible. Because if you do anything, if you're reported, you can look around the country, look around the globe and see how these CBDCs and these digital things are working out. It's a prison. CBDCs in this matter can become super dangerous weapons in the hands of autocracies around the world. Hence, development is slow and governments are trying not to hurry. But I think they already got it together. I think they're just trying not to roll it out, or they got to wait until the crises get to the level that they can stick us in our butts and put us on our backs and then roll it out. Are CBDCs truly future fiat currencies, or are they really a threat to democracy and freedom? There's no such thing as democracy or freedom. That's just my 2 cents. I'm sticking to it. The dilemma cannot be underestimated. At first glance, CBDCs are the future of fiat currencies and the inevitable result of technological discernment. On the other hand, they can become a real threat to freedom as corrupt governments can use them to freeze assets for the opposition and take full control over everything. Freezing money for the opposition will be an effective weapon to silence opposition, and this threat must not be taken lightly by the world population. With this said, there is definitely an argument for CBDCs for truly democratic countries, and using them together with other alternatives of money could be advantageous for government spending monitoring. So that's going to be the key. If you have a barter system, they can't control that. If you have other resources or currencies of value that a community or a nation uses, and I won't even say a nation because the nations are going to be on one accord with this CBDC stuff because they want everything to be interoperable and they want to be able to know what everybody's doing at all times. So if you don't have alternative money, if you don't have alternative resources, even if it's just food, if you don't have money to buy gold and silver or platinum or whatever natural resources, even if you have money to buy, you know, um, food can be a currency. Non-perishable stuff will be currency when everything goes to hell in the handbasket. So, um, we're talking about fiat currency and CBDCs and cryptocurrencies and money, but you can also apply this to the barter system or other things of value that people in your community will be able to use because it's only valuable if other people see it as valuable. Like the dollar. The only reason the dollar, is valuable is because the world sees it as valuable and we are forced to use it. But the moment that de-dollarization is complete and other countries find other alternatives, they're out of there. And so we're stuck with this paper money, and it's because it's our nation's currency. We are going to be up the creek. So we got to be prepared for that. With this said, there is definitely an argument for CBDCs. Oh, I already read that. I'm sorry. Although corrupt governments can leverage CBDCs to exert control over their population, the ability of individuals to monitor government spending may be a significant factor in the global reluctance to expedite the development of CBDCs. Um, so the flip side is because with the CBDCs, allegedly, um, every transaction is on the blockchain, and every transaction can be seen by anyone. The same applies to the government. So how they spend every dollar would also is supposed to be traceable, trackable. So I don't know if they're gonna come up. Of course, they're gonna come up with some way where we can't see what they're doing, but they can see everything we're doing because we're the threats. They are not. Understanding blockchain technology. Blockchain is a decentralized and distributed ledger system that keeps track of all transactions and information on the blockchain. It is a network of interconnected blocks, each containing a list of transactions that's on a computer, digital, which means somebody gonna figure out a way to get into it. What sets it apart from other forms of financial ledgers is its decentralized nature, where multiple participants maintain and validate the network, making it transparent and secure. But you got to do it on a computer, and we don't control the internet. And so there's part of the problem right there. Blockchain is also immutable, meaning it cannot be altered or changed in any way. I do not believe this. I don't believe it. If we can have a bank account and it can just be wiped out by some strange person in a whole other country. If you can have systems that are supposed to be impenetrable and other nations can hack into it and make your water poisonous or spy and get all kinds of um, uh, you know proprietary information to copy and make money off of. Why do we think that this stuff is going to be immutable, can't be changed or altered? Like there's nothing they ain't created nothing in technology that can't be duplicated or hacked already. So why on earth would I believe the lie that it's immutable, can't be altered or changed? Everything can be changed. Everything. It can even disappear. If it can't change, it can disappear. Things have disappeared. Anything written on the blockchain stays there forever as long as the network exists. So a network can come and go. What happens when the network is no longer there? Blockchain is also transparent as all participants can access the same data, and various block explorers enable crypto enthusiasts to see all the transactions on public blockchains. What happens when the blockchains ain't public? Because the government may not make their stuff public, or they may create some other rules to alter it. They created it. The security of the blockchain is maintained using cryptographic techniques, making it almost unhackable. Did you hear what I said? It said almost unhackable. It didn't say unhackable. It said almost unhackable. That means it's hackable. Now, the account information can be hacked by personal devices such as a desktop and mobile device, but the blockchain itself is unbreakable by hackers. Mm-hmm. 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 Unless the hackers created the back door. I'm just saying. Overall, blockchain facilitates trust in digital interactions by providing a secure and transparent platform for recording and verifying financial and smart contract transactions. This whole smart contract stuff is so stupid. It's just all stupid. You're going to hear me say stupid so much over the next 2 years. It's just stupid to me. I mean, what's the difference between a smart contract and I walk over to my next door neighbor and give him $20 for a shovel that I want to buy? Why I got to do a CBDC transaction on a blockchain to buy the shovel from my neighbor? Or if I want to go to the store and buy strawberries, why somebody on the network got to know I wanted to buy strawberries or tampons or condoms or whatever? Why does the network why they got to know all that? It's too much, too much, it's too much. Um so it says blockchains and CBDCs. So it says CBDCs use blockchain technology to facilitate financial transactions and save data in the network. The blockchain plays a pivotal role in developing these CBDCs. So this is where I was telling you how the blockchain technology is going to be used for CBDCs, and it's the same technology that is used for cryptocurrency. The blockchain will be the underlying technology by providing decentralized and secure transactions for recording and verifying transactions. I also want to make clear that other platforms use blockchain technology like Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. So it's this technology has been around a long time, or this idea has been around a long time. So it's not anything new. We've all been guinea pigs, but I think the escalation was cryptocurrency. But I will say, if you use any of those peer-to-peer exchanges, was not really peer-to-peer because there's always somebody in the middle collecting money. But if you use Zelle or PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, any of those things in addition to cryptocurrencies, we've all been played. We've all been used to usher in the CBDC era. Even digital banking, online banking, if you have the app on your phone and you use Apple Pay or Google Pay or whatever, we all been played. Same technology. The blockchain will be the underlying technology for providing decentralized and secure transactions for recording and verifying transactions. CBDCs will also be able to automate processes using smart contracts. Without the blockchain, there will be no CBDCs. Challenges and considerations. As I have mentioned earlier, CBDCs come with a range of issues that need very close attention, so pay attention. They can become a foundation for a truly dystopian society where corrupt governments have full financial control over their population, making it extremely difficult to transform into a truly democratic world, which is what they want. They sold us democracy. Democracy was a bunch of BS anyway, because black people ain't never lived in a democracy. We've always lived in captivity, especially if you've been in America. We have been in captivity. Even folks on the continent of Africa, all those countries over there in Africa, the majority of them, they've been under duress in captivity too, because they have been ruled over by the West. Now they have a new ruler, which is going to be the dragon people. So, and the bear, dragon and bears tag teaming. So we're never free. We never have a democracy. We do what we got to do, for a season. So in any event, I just felt like I wanted to say that we ain't got no democratic world. We all hostages of white supremacy. Despite threats, CBDCs can be an effective way to battle money laundering and other criminal issues. Oh my gosh, look at the crimers talking about crime. Ain't that something all the time? The biggest money launderers don't want nobody else to launder no money. Mm, mm, mm. However, fighting against criminals must not be achieved by ignoring freedom and democracy. Technological challenges faced by CBDCs include scalability issues and interoperability to ensure the effective and efficient functioning of blockchain based CBDCs. So you notice everybody else is trying to hurry up and roll out theirs. They're in part doing it for de-dollarization, because they're preparing for our dollar to collapse. But as they hurry up and roll it out so they can protect themselves, they're also not doing what the true agenda of it is intended to be, which is to be interoperable, which means they're going to work together across borders. There will be no borders, where everybody's going to share information. So it doesn't matter if you've never left the country. Somebody in Switzerland or in Nairobi, Kenya, or in Australia could look at your stuff if they needed to, because everything is going to be in this system, this new system. Scalability is the number one challenge for all blockchain based systems, because it requires time to validate transactions while maintaining proper security. Well, what's the difference between this and the bank? This is what the bank was doing, but now the bank is not doing it because they got this new stuff. It remains the key issue for the majority of blockchains and cryptocurrencies. This is also why it is difficult to replace Visa and MasterCard with digital currency transactions, as traditional methods can process millions of transactions daily, something which is super difficult for cryptocurrencies without delays. One obvious example is Bitcoin, as it sometimes requires several hours to process transactions, especially when there are many transactions in a queue. Visa and MasterCard can process 24,000 and 5,000 TPS transactions per second, while Bitcoin and Ethereum can handle only 7 and 30 transactions per second. Well, who gonna do that? We ain't gonna never. You will never eat. You'll never get your bills paid. Can you imagine trying to put everybody on Earth on these systems to use cryptocurrencies or CBDCs? It's not gonna work. And then not only that, how is that saving the Earth? How's that? What is that gonna do for climate change? Because to me, it seems like um, technology is going to work more. You're going to have more electricity. It doesn't work, and none of it works if you don't have power. So, what happens if you don't have power? You can't even use it. If you take away our paper money, our fiat money, and we can't use cash because cash is banned in societies, how do you transact? So you have to be thinking, if this is going to be the future, prayerfully, I won't be here. Um, but if I am here, if this is the future, you gotta have some. You gotta be thinking proactively. You always have to have what you need, because there's a strong possibility you won't be able to access your resources, or it's programmed to not allow you to use your resources. And what do you do? So you gotta be thinking, when it comes to this dystopian stuff. You gotta have a survivalist mindset. This difference is so drastic that it is impossible to use the cryptos for large numbers of transactions, which is why, and I think it was designed like that. I honestly think it was designed like that to make the CBDCs look better, so you could choose that as an option, if that makes sense. Future outlook. Even the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, admits the challenges of privacy when it comes to CBDCs. The central banks around the world will have to come up with ways to make CBDCs align with the main principles of democracy, which will pose a considerable challenge to all democracies around the world. So, this is why you see a lot of the people on the far right, and I hate to do the left right thing, but people on the far right, talk about freedom and invasion of privacy and democracy, even though democracy is something that they created, um, just a form of government that don't work because they are who they are. um, you can't have CBDCs and say you have a democracy, because you're no longer free. If the government can control your money, how you spend, when you spend, where you spend, what you buy, what you can't, then you're not living in a democracy. If they could see everything that you do, then you are living in a police state. You don't live in a democracy. So all these Western nations who've been touting democracy and pushing it all over the world now are suddenly going to totalitarian, or governments, or autocracies, where or theocracy. We got a lot of ocracies going on here. This is a whole bunch of mess. Everything. We got technology, we got religion, because the Pope getting ready to come back on the scene. Um, we have this one world government that is getting ready to happen in a couple of days. And so, days, or I say days or weeks. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and there's no way that people are going to be able to say that they still live in a democracy. And so many people are just sleepwalking. They don't even realize what's happening. However, privacy and democratic principles are not the only issues facing the development of fully functioning CBDCs. Technical challenges and scalability issues are present challenges as well. Facing all these challenges, central banks will have to find a balance between financial stability and privacy of their country's citizens before launching CBDCs. One promising solution that the central banks that use CBDCs have come out with is its limits on holdings of CBDCs. Having the option to hold some part of your wealth in other currencies and some part in CBDCs can help citizens keep their privacy while complying with the authorities simultaneously. Well, what's going to happen is they're going to have cameras everywhere. So if you try to go someplace to spend your money with that other currency, they're still going to know because everybody's going to be required to have that. If you try to use a digital wallet, they'll know. You use your smartphone, they'll know because you're going to have to scan to get into stores, on trains, if you're using public transportation to buy gas, like in other countries. So they're selling this to us like, oh, you're going to have options. You ain't going to have no option. You ain't gonna be able to do nothing. We're just gonna be slaves. CBDCs are double-edged swords, as governments will control their entire population's finances while keeping their spending transparent and visible to anyone. This nature may be the primary reason why governments will slow down the development of CBDCs and make less restrictive policies to ensure they maintain a healthy balance between democracy and control over their citizens. I don't think so. In conclusion, CBDCs are digital alternatives for fiat currencies issued by central banks. There are both ethical and technological challenges when considering these digital fiat alternatives. The scalability challenge is the main technological challenge for CBDCs. Oh, no, it's not. Well, what about challenges for us? Because I don't care about this. I don't care if they can't get bigger and have more stuff. I don't care. As blockchain networks are usually known for their slow transaction speeds and low throughput. Ethical challenges mainly consist of threats of CBDCs if used by corrupt governments and autocracies to control and suppress the free will of their populations by controlling the entire financial sector, which is why I keep telling you we're going to have to go back to the old days, primitive living. We're going to have to go back to hard times. Remind me of that Run DMC song, Hard Times. We're going to have to go back to hard times because they're not going to not control us. They want to control us, which is why we're doing the slow walk to uh, the global order or the great redo. I use my words wisely. In other words, autocracies might use CBDCs to freeze all the financial assets of the opposition and limit free speech, which they are doing now. I can't tell you how much I've been persecuted over the last couple of years and not been able to make money uh, from writing and different things the way that I have in the past because of the things that I talk about. Because I talk about these types of things that people need to know about. These are the things that the governments don't want you to know about because if you wake up and push back, then they can't do all of the nefarious things that they want to do. So there's a cost for speaking out. And a lot of us are suffering it. We're suffering it with our numbers being held. Um, our, like I said, my blogs have been shut down. My the algorithms hide my work. They even hide my stuff on YouTube. So freedom of speech is basically gone already anyway. If you're not saying whatever the Democratic Party wants you to say, then and I say the Democratic Party, but the powers that be seem like they favor the Democratic Party more. I don't know why. I know they play both sides, but it just seems like a whole lot of nefarious stuff happens when folks feeling good because they think they're liberal, they think they're progressive, they believe they are pursuing equality, when those are just keywords and masks for what the true agendas are. And most people don't know because they don't understand history, they don't read, they don't believe stuff, because if you try to believe something that's alternative, you're considered a conspiracy theorist, and people care more about not being labeled or being ostracized than they do the truth. And for me, I don't care. Um, I don't care. I've always been ostracized. So hey, might as well go out with a bang, right? However, the opposition and the population can use CBDCs to monitor all the spending of their governments, making it difficult for corrupt governments to hide their financial activities. We don't have to really worry about that because you can do a FOIA request here and we can see stuff, but people don't even take the time to do the FOIA request. So in all actuality, the only places, like there are some places that the government spends money that we can't see, is usually with defense and the little private pet projects. But it's just very interesting to watch these CBDCs be piloted and people just be totally oblivious to what's coming. So what I want y'all to do is do your research on blockchain technology and all of the things that we use today that use that smart contract type of concept. Then you'll find it's a lot of things that we've already been engaged in. So, we've all been pumped. I guess that's the best way to say it. And although, biblical prophecy has to come to pass, we shouldn't be going along with all this stuff. We have to resist, because I think there is something to say about us when we resist. And even if you have to resist in your own way, like, not shopping as much, not buying new stuff, buy used stuff, go places and buy stuff where, your transactions aren't tracked. Go to ATM and withdraw cash and spend it. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, it says this is why governments are not in a hurry and are working slowly to develop this new emerging technology. The IMF also considers CBDCs a novel approach that needs a balance of privacy and efficiency. And we know they don't care. So anyway, this article was written by Constantin Rabin, who has been working in the retail FX sector since 2010 and was heading the marketing department of one of the largest European brokerages and a financial data aggregation company. And so, the other thing is with this CBDC, they can have data like they've never had before. And that is dangerous too, because they can use that data to harm us. So anyway, I'm going to end this piece. The link will be in the description. Please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel if you like this type of content. Here we are all about telling the truth. We are all about trying to wake people up and get the word out about what's going on and how close we are to losing what little bit of freedom we do have here in the West. These CBDCs are being piloted. I've been bringing you a lot of stories about them all year long. Now they got the universal basic income projects. They are being piloted everywhere, all over the globe. And so, as you see these stories, I'm going to be bringing them to you a lot more frequently, because they're coming across my news feeds a lot more frequently. You're going to see how quickly things are going to evolve. And again, the Book of Revelation says, in 1 hour, Babylon is going to be utterly destroyed. Everything is going to come to a halt. The merchants are going to be crying because we ain't going to be able to spend our money, because the system is going to collapse. People are going to steal their goods because the world will become lawless, and folks are going to be doing all mannerism of things to survive, and they're going to come on the scene with the plan to make life better. And when they do, this is what they're going to come back with. So this is why, the article also talks about things going slowly. I like to say we're watching a gradual demolition of our norms and of society and of freedom. And it's happening so slowly, people can't see it. But freedom is almost done. We can't even speak now. We got talking codes. We can't talk about the truth. Can't talk to certain people because they're brainwashed. It's crazy. And so you have to do what you can to stay sane. So I encourage you to do whatever it is that you can to stay sane during these times. And don't, whatever you do, don't allow people to label you. Well, you can't stop somebody from labeling you, but wear the label proudly. So that's what I got to say. Anyway, link to this will be in the description. Follow me on Odyssey and Rumble. Links are in the description. In the event that I am persecuted to death off of the YouTube platforms, I'll have backup. All of the old content from YouTube is backed up on Odyssey, and I will be able to create new content on Rumble. I can't create on Odyssey for whatever reason. It's a really weird system to use. So I just, it make everything so complicated. I just don't have time. I'm too old for this nonsense. So you can also follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I don't post there regularly, but in the event that the site goes down on YouTube and I need to get in touch with you, I will send out white flags there. So if you follow me there, you'll be able to get communications. I don't bombard you with all kinds of nonsense. I don't send out. I just don't. I like to say what I got to say and move on. I don't like to sell you nothing. This is not the hour. This is an hour about getting the truth out, waking people up, trying to save as many people as you can, being a good watchman, and that's what we're trying to do. Watch people, watch over our people, and wake people up. So if you find this content helpful, please share it with others so that they will understand what is going on. We're in dire straits, and the more people wake up and push back, the slower, um, you know, the oncoming new global order will be able to take hold. So in any event, this is Marley K. Thank y'all for staying to the end. Please leave your comments below if you have any comments about blockchain technology, CBDCs, cryptocurrencies, stable coins, etc., etc. What are your views about, say the last 20 years, or since the smart contract and the blockchain technology have come out, and how different things have evolved? And then you go back and look at who founded a lot of these companies that we use today. They've sold them and moved on and created new ventures, but everybody's doing the same thing. And so you got to understand, um, you know, everybody's working together. We just don't always realize it because we don't keep up with the business aspect of how things work and who controls what. So if you have any stories or any ideas, please share them in the comment section. I will be glad to see them. Hopefully they'll stay because a lot of comments have been disappearing. Anyway, this is Marley K, and I'm out.